Hi, Benjamin Ling here, Altitude Capitalist, and we just opened a box of 1986 Topps, one of my favorite sets from the perspective of aesthetics. I just really like the way these cards are designed. And I just wanted to talk about how difficult it is to find a PSA 10 card. Now, the box that we opened was in great condition. The packs were all in great condition. And this stack right here are the Hall of Famers or people who are otherwise desirable in the set. And we're going to look at this stack and see if we could find at least one PSA 10 candidate. It's going to be tough. To help us out here, I've got a handy 10x magnifying glass. I have a card centering tool. And in the off chance that we actually get a PSA 10 card candidates, I have these. This is a Card Saver 1. This is what PSA recommends. This is the type of sleeve they recommend you to send them cards in. And I like this exact brand, Card Saver 1. It's flexible. Some of these that look like this but are not Card Saver 1, they're kind of a little bit thicker and they're harder to manipulate to get the cards in there. You'd hate to have a great condition card that you damage putting in the sleeve. So we'll take a look at each of these. And we also, to help us out, we have a bright light here so we can look at the surface. And as I'm looking at the surface of this card, I can see damage all the way down this edge. So this will not be submitted for PSA. It's Dwight Gooden. This looks like it's well centered. No, it's a little bit off left to right. The corners look pretty good. I'm going to look at it with a magnifying glass, though, and see if I can find some problems. Now, I'm doing this because the guys who are assigning grades, if they think it's going to be a 10, they're definitely going to take a magnifying glass and look at it. All these corners are good. So I've got a 2 and a 4. So this is a 4 and a 2. So this is off center 67-33, 2/3, 1/3. And we're looking for things that are centered to at least a standard of 60-40. So this will not meet the standard to be submitted, even though the rest of the card looks good. The surface looks good. The corners look good. This I don't even have to put under that centering tool. This is obviously terribly off center. And I think this is the one that had the gum attached to the back. Gary Carter, again, this is pretty off center, north and south. Take a look just to make sure. Two and 3. Yeah, so this is, that might pass muster. Let me check the corners here. So this could be 10. Before we send it in, though, we're going to check. We're going to check to see what a 1986 Topps Gary Carter actually sells for in a PSA 10 condition. If it sells for less than $100, we're probably not going to send it in. We'll set that aside. Here's another Pete Rose retrospective card. This is off center left to right. The surface looks good. The corners, there's some damage on that corner there. So this fails the test. So Lee Smith, this is pretty well centered. There's some damage to the upper left corner. So this one stays home. There's Cal. It looks like we're off center left to right and north and south. Surface looks good. But you see we're off center in the back as well. If you read the standards for PSA centering, they're more strict on the front than they are the back. Here's Pete Rose, off center left and right. This is the manager card. So because of the centering, that's not going to pass. Here's a George Brett. There's surface damage on this. I'm not sure if you could see, but by the hat, there's significant damage. Let me see if I can get that reflection. You can kind of see in the reflection there. Significant damage to the front of the card. This may be 60-40 left to right. It's good north and south. Lower right-hand corner is damaged, so this one stays behind. Here's Mike Schmidt off center terribly again. North and south and left and right. Paul Malder, this is badly off center, north and south. There's a print mark on here. And if the print mark, there's tolerance for print marks if it doesn't detract terribly from the overall condition of the card. This is a big print mark on this guy's face. Not sure if you can see it there. Trying to get this in focus. Take my word for it, his right cheek is almost completely covered with a print mark. And this is wildly off center, so that's staying behind. This Phil Micro is very off center, north and south. This stays behind. Here's Clemens. This is off center, north and south. This corner is damaged. Stays behind. Another Pete Rose retrospective. Bad corner up there. This stays behind. George Brett All-Star is off center left to right. Pretty bad. This stays behind. Raleigh Fingers. This might make 60-40 centering left to right. I can see, I'm going to look at this with the loop. It looks like there's some problems with this corner, and there is. And that corner. So that stays behind. Pete Rose Record Breaker. This is off center left to right. Corners look pretty good, though. That's going nowhere. Goose Gossage. Looks pretty good. Upper left corner is a little bit weak, and for a marginal card like that, I just don't think there's value in it to even risk it. This Pete Rose is off center, north and south, and left and right. This is the manager card, so this stays behind. Another Gossage. Eddie Murray has a print mark down there, lower left, but that doesn't really detract from the card. The centering left and right looks like it could be a problem. So we'll put our trusty centering tool here. I'm reading 4 and 2. So that's 67-33. That's 1/3, 2/3. That is out of tolerance. We're looking for at least no worse than 60-40. So Raleigh Fingers. Bad damage up there. So Nolan Ryan, that's well centered. Surface looks great. There's a little bit of softness. I wouldn't call it softness in the upper right-hand corner. It looks like there's a little bit of extra material there. So this could be a 9. This very well could be a 9. We'll have to look and see what these PSA 9s sell for, and this may be a candidate to send. However, with the softness in that upper right corner, I do not anticipate this as one of the $700 Nolan Ryan PSA 10s from this set. But the 9s go for enough. We may send that one in. Here's the Lee Smith. There's some surface damage on the bottom right here, and there's surface damage in the upper left. Burke Lie11 is terribly miscut. Raleigh Fingers, the top edge is completely trashed. You may not be able to see it. Let me see if I can catch the reflection here. Don Sutton is off center left to right. This is off center left to right. Mattingly is off center left to right. Let me see if there's anything else wrong with this. This could be a one to send in there. It might be a PSA 9. Probably not worth it. Harold Baines. This is going to be off center left to right. Strawberry is off center north and south. Ricky Henderson. This looks pretty good. Might be worth sending. Pete Rose off center left to right. Wade Boggs off center left to right. Okay, there you go. So out of this entire box, these two are the possible PSA 10s. We'll send this. We'll check the value of the 9s here. We'll send that if the 9s hold up, because I think that's probably going to be a 9. But this is not going to be a 10 because of the softness in that upper right-hand corner. So we have one more thing to do in this video, and that is to open up this last pack from the box and see if we could find a single PSA 10 card in this pack. The pack looks like it's in great condition, so it's not one of those where there's obvious damage to a corner and would throw off every single card in the pack. So let's see if we can find a single card in here that would be a PSA 10. Lance Parrish. Check the centering on this. Yeah, this is actually pretty close. Might be one. Horta. This is well centered. But bad edge along the top, so that's not going to be a 10. Dave Stapleton. This is going to be off center left to right. There's damage to the top edge there as well. Steve Kemp is off center north to south and left to right. And there's a depression on the surface right there. This is off center north and south. The corners in all these in this pack are actually pretty good. That could be a 10. This is off center. We'll eliminate that. This is also off center. Eliminate that. This is off center, up and down. There's also a pretty bad print mark on his throat. This has damage to the upper left corner and the bottom right corner. This is off center, up and down. This is kind of shifted up to the left. It's no good. Hall of Famer, but this is off center left and right. And this has gum stuck to the back of it. So in this pack of 15 cards, 2 of them look like they could be PSA 10. Obviously, these are common players, unless for some reason one of these is a highly valuable PSA 10, which I doubt. I will not be sending these in. But just goes to show you how challenging it is to find a card that might be worthy of submitting for consideration for a PSA 10. Thanks, and I'd appreciate any comments that you have.